One of the major problems here in the Philippines is waste. Half of the population in Manila are living in the slums. There are some waste that are hazardous not only to our environment but to us humans as well. Lead acid batteries are one of the important sources of energy for vehicles. But if it is not properly disposed, it could pose serious threat to the environment. Recognizing the threats posed by these lead acid batteries, Bantay Kalikasan along with two other companies spearheaded Bantay Baterya, which started in October 2000. Bantay Baterya is a nationwide campaign which aims to protect the public and the environment from the harmful effects of lead acid batteries by leading their recovery and recycling. The project works by collecting waste batteries from donor companies and delivering them to the Philippine Recyclers Incorporated, which processes them into new ones. Last year, Denso signed an agreement with ABS-CBN Bantay Kalikasan's Bantay Langis and Bantay Baterya projects. Through the agreement, Denso Philippines Corporation will donate their used oils, used solvent, and used lead acid batteries to Bantay Kalikasan's recycling partners, Genetron International Marketing and Oriental, and Motolite Marketing Corporation. The monetary value of the recycled hazardous waste will be donated to Bantay Kalikasan's, which will be used to support its advocacies in 14 sites. To know more about the agreement, we interviewed Denso Philippines Corporation's SHE team leader, pollution control officer, and the project leader herself.
Have done this year is the Environmental Day, wherein we signed up for a memorandum of agreement with ABS-CBN Lingkod Kapamilya for the donation of our hazardous waste, electronic hazardous waste, M506, for recycling. Last year, we also have the same MOA signing, but it's for used solvent, used batteries, and used oils. Again, for recycling, all for the benefit of Bantay Kalikasan Foundation.
Ma'am, tell us more regarding the change point of current practice of DENSO versus the partnership with ABS with regards of e-waste management. Specifically,
Impact to the environment. So before, as I have said earlier, we are transacting with a third-party PSD facility. This PSD facility shall then treat our hazardous waste, and once it is less hazardous but still hazardous, it will be dumped, disposed at the sanitary landfill, which is most of the time a remote mountain area. So we are basically polluting the mountains. Now, with the current project we have with ABS-CBN, so we have lessened the amount of hazardous waste these PSD facilities are dumping in the sanitary landfill, again, in most of the mountainous areas of the Philippines. So with our project, it does not only give us a cost saving, but it also contributed in the environmental sustainability of this country or of this planet, because before we are contributor in the pollution of the soil or soil degradation, but right now we are one of the, should I say, vanguards of environmental sustainability, since we have lessened our impact on the environment. It's not actually a non-profit donation, because in exchange of our certificate of donation, the DENSO is eligible for a tax deductibility. And then with that project, our treatment costs for the hazardous waste, because as you know, hazardous waste cannot just be buried in the sanitary landfill directly. So it needs to be treated, and before, most of our hazardous waste are being treated for a cost. So that gives us around less than $1 million for a total for the two projects. The recent one in the Environmental Day, and the MOA signing last year for the Safety Day. So that's a total of less than $1 million cost savings, because with that project, it already scraped down it eliminated totally our expense for the treatment costs. And then, as I have said earlier, the donation, the certificate of donation merits us for a tax deductibility. And then, most of the recycling projects of Bantay Kalikasan is also credited to them. So, because the profit and then the items recycled is also credited to us, because it is our hazardous waste that is being recycled. ABS-CBN, Lingkod Ka Pamilya, subsidize most of the treatment cost of that TSD facility, Genetron. And then, that particular TSD facility, unlike any other TSD facilities, is really zero waste. So, most of our hazardous waste really doesn't go to the sanitary landfill. And upon discussing with ABS-CBN BIC Ms. Wilma, she told me that they were never allowed to transact or collaborate with any other TSD who is not zero waste. So, financing the treatment costs for us, for the treatment of our hazardous waste, is what they do for Genetron. And the Genetron, just like the usual TSD, they treat the hazardous waste and recycle it more than the way other TSD is recycled. Of course, if the TSD facility is zero waste, it would definitely lessen the amount of hazardous waste that will be disposed in sanitary landfills. So, and mostly the sanitary landfills are mountains, remote areas, and reducing the impact of the soil degradation because of the reduced amount of hazardous waste dumped in sanitary landfill is, I believe, is a great impact in environmental sustainability. The electronic waste, the 2017 trend for electronic waste of denso is around 11.38 metric tons. And then it's a lot. And then for 2017 trend for used oil, used solvent, and used lead acid batteries, I can only give the figures on how much. It's around 450,000 something. But for the exact metric tons, I'm not so sure, because during that time, I was still consolidating the data. And then, because of the amount of hazardous waste present in our current MRF that time, I have to act fast and proceed with the donation just to empty the place and have 5S. Currently, we are on a weekly hauling. Weekly? Yes. Because of the amount of generation that we are having right now and the size of the company. Yes, I believe that this could also be applicable in a small scale donation or practice. You see, most of the people, most of the families who have cars, vehicles, they use batteries. And one battery, I think, is around 18 kilograms. So if you're going to multiply it to the amount per kilogram of the treatment cost, and the fact that you can just return it to any Motolite, what they call this, recovery center, you don't have to enter into a MOA signing. But on yourself, if you do have a vehicle, you can just return it for recycling and then have a rebate for the next purchase. So as simple as that. And most of us do not use solvent at home. And most of us do not use that amount of used oil at home. So I think it's just the batteries should you own a vehicle. And then for electronic waste, of course, most of us has mobile phones. We have laptops. So our obsolete electronic waste, as we can see in most shopping malls, there's this box that you can put your used electronic waste, aside from throwing it in the garbage and risk having mercury and lead contamination. So first of all, reducing your waste at home. Of course, first you have to throw it somewhere else. You have to think where to throw it. You have to wait for let's say garbage truck to pick it up. Wherein if you can just put it again in a shopping mall box, who is collecting the electronic waste. I mean, in your own simple way, you're contributing for environmental sustainability. At the same time, should your community, should your group of friends have gathered gathered a substantial amount of electronic waste, you can just talk to ABS-CBN and then have a one-time donation. And for Denso Philippines, they broadcasted it in ANC and ANC and ABS-CBN last December 31. So should you want to have a share of limelight, so you and your friends can opt to have electronic waste donation. So that's just once in a lifetime experience. So just especially for teenagers, most of them have the gadgets. I cannot encourage others for any other projects like this if it's for monetary, because it's for small scale. But every little effort counts. So should your friends or you have gathered a substantial amount of hazardous waste for donation, I believe it could have a great impact. A monthly donation of hazardous waste